Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this HP model. Let's see. So first we got to take out the battery to find out, because it's underneath here. And this is an HP model 17-1023CL. At least I think that's a 1, right? Alright, anyways. Battery model number is right here. VI04. Alright, pretty sure it's VI04. It could be V104. And then they also have the HP spare part number 756743-001. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and take a look underneath here. So, we're replacing the hard drive because the hard drive is making some clicking sounds and it's not booting up. So I'm assuming the hard drive is dead. Pretty sure. I couldn't even boot my Linux. So we're going to undo all these screws. You want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and length. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. Okay, so we got that one. Let me make sure I get a thumbnail. Okay, and I'm going to go across and get this guy, this guy, and this guy. Alright, let's see if we can pull these rubber feet off, or do we need to take off? Is there hidden screws underneath here sometimes? There might be hidden screws underneath the rubber piece. So, let's see. Can I get the rubber foot off? Wow, that rubber piece is really stuck in there. Let's see if I can do it with this. Yep, there's a there's a screw hidden under there, so make sure to remove that as well. Okay. Oh, it's very difficult to remove, jeez. Alright, and that screw's small and silver, so keep that in mind if you mix them up. Okay, that's also difficult. Alright, let's go ahead and get the rubber foot off of this side as well. Okay. Jeez. These rubber feet are so difficult to get off. And part of it's because the laptop's so old, so the adhesive is just very solid. Hopefully it will stick back on there. There we go. We got the other one out. Okay, we'll get this screw out. Alright, there's another screw over here, so we'll remove that as well. Alright, then, I don't think they're hiding one. They're definitely hiding one under here. Yep. But I don't know if they're hiding one under this. I don't think so. Sometimes they just use that as like an injection mold spot. I'm going to use like a small tiny needle here to see if I can get underneath and lift it out. And yeah, this is just like the injection mold thing. Since it's not that smooth, they put a little sticker on top of it to try and hide it. That's what that's for. Alright, we got this one that's holding the optical disk drive in place, so we'll remove that. Once you remove that, you should be able to get this out. I just slide my fingernail up and down as I'm pulling on it. Okay, and there we go. You can replace this with a hard drive caddy, a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive caddy. This is the shorter kind, I believe, the thinner one. I think it's like 7 point something millimeter, or 9 millimeter or something. The thicker one I think is around 12 or so. Alright, there's some screws hidden under here, but these are smaller, so we're going to switch to a PH0 or JS0 screwdriver, and we'll undo these. Okay, and then we're going to switch back over to the PH1 JS1 screwdriver. If I remember correctly on this model, they do hide screws underneath the plastic cover there as well, so we need to make sure to get that out before we try and pop the cover off or the keyboard assembly out. Okay, another screw there. That's so many screws, jeez. Okay, Okay, then we'll get all these screws out. This is an old model, so I don't know. Hopefully somebody benefits from this video. Okay, come on. This screw's kind of stuck. I might have to use a magnet to get it out. So let's use this magnet. There we go. If it doesn't come out, usually when you pry open the cover, it'll fall out. So you want to be careful that you don't lose it. Okay. A lot of screws taking up a lot of my desk right now. Okay, one more. There we go. All right, now we got to get this off. If we can, let's see, how does this pop off from here? Okay. So going with my fingernails under here, I was able to pry that up slightly. Let's try and do the same on this side. Obviously, you can use pry tools. You don't have to use fingernails, whatever works for you. Actually, maybe wiggling this and lifting might be better. Come on. Wow, this one's kind of stuck. There we go. So yeah, there's a clip here and here that you need to take out, and then you can see we're going to have to remove a screw there. So yes, we do need to pop this out. So first thing, use a pry tool, get under this corner. That's what I find works easiest. Once you get that corner up, you can see you can kind of wiggle this around. And then I'm going to use my fingernail this way just to pop underneath. And there we go. Very easy. And you can actually see the clip there. Okay, we'll set that aside. We're going to remove these two screws only. You don't want to remove the hinge one. That one's not holding on to the plastic cover, so we don't need to remove that. We're just going to remove these two. This one. And this one. All right, and if I remember correctly on this model, the keyboard comes out first, but let's see. Let me flip this over and check. Let's see, actually, okay, no, we don't need to take that part out, but we'll probably have to pop out this gray portion. So be careful because there's a lot of screws. Okay, so I'll get my fingernails between the palm rest and then the bottom cover here, and I'll pull on it like this. Okay, so let me flip it like that. And then I'll push with my thumbs on the back to kind of pop the clips. Hopefully that'll go. Let's see. Wow, they're holding strong. Am I doing it? Okay, there we go. All right. I guess I just gotta pull harder. I was worried I was gonna break something. Okay, so there we go. Get those clips. Then we'll go around the side and do the same. Side clips are popping easier, except for the one up here. Okay, and we'll go around to this side and do the same. Okay, pop these clips. Jeez, okay. And this one can be a little tricky. This part of plastic, you want to pull a little bit that way as you're kind of prying it up. Okay, if you're using fingernails like I'm doing. If you're just using pry tools, then I don't know, you're probably going to end up breaking some clips. But there we go. I think we popped most of it out. Let's carefully open the laptop up. Probably should have done this for a thumbnail as well, but okay, there we go. Okay, now that we got all this, we can carefully lift up under here. Oh, is there a screw I missed somewhere here? No? Okay. So there's a clip in the middle somewhere that we don't really have access to, so I'm wondering how I'm going to pop that up. Let's see. I'm carefully... Oh, can't even see what I'm doing. Carefully lifting underneath here, going around. Sometimes pushing on here will help release the clip, but I don't know. I don't feel it. It's not releasing. Okay, anyways, we're going to go this way. And I'm going to kind of lift up and try and pop this off. Actually, let me see which side is the stuff attached to. Yeah, the motherboard sits into this bottom cover, so we need to carefully lift this off, but for some reason it doesn't want to separate here. Okay, let's see. Is there a hidden screw underneath that rubber? Nope. I don't know what's holding it. let's pry this again. Oh, that one kind of popped back in. Let's pry this again. Wow, this cover is so difficult to remove. Or the keyboard assembly. I don't want to just yank it really hard and risk breaking something. Get my fingers in there and try and pull up a little bit. It's really stuck in there. Okay. Let's try and go from this side and pull it sideways. No? Wow, that's really strong. I gotta stick my fingernail in there to unclip something here. It unclipped a little bit. And what about back here? I don't know. Alright, let's go back to this side. I accidentally clipped it back in a little bit. Again, same thing, pulling up. Try and pop the clip here. Nothing. Wow. Nope. Doesn't want to come out. Am I missing something else? I don't think so. It's kind of popping out. I don't know if you can see that. But not completely. Okay, the center's more popped out now. I could technically reach the hard drive already and swap it out. Should I even risk taking the keyboard and everything out? It's really dusty, so I'm going to take it out so I can dust it. So the keyboard connector, there's a little flip latch here that you need to flip, the black portion. So you guys flip that up. If you've seen my other videos, you'll be able to see that, but you flip that, then we can pull this cable out, right? The touchpad cable's here, same thing. There's a little latch that we need to flip. Once you do that, you can pull that cable out, all right? And I think now nothing else is connected to the top. Actually, the power button's also connected to the top. So you want to be careful because there's a cable all the way down there. That's this one that's attached to the power button. So technically, since we don't really need to open this, I don't know if I should risk trying to pop it out because for some reason it doesn't want to separate. I don't know what's going on here. Did I miss something here? I don't see anything I missed. Try and push through the back. No. I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait. Do we? Okay, maybe we do need to remove those. Okay, I think maybe we do need to remove those two screws. Let's remove them. Oops. Let's see. Is that the case? Is that what's happening? Hopefully. And then if that's the case, we should hopefully be able to lift it out now. Because I do see it going into the black plastic portion there. Okay, let's slowly, carefully open up the laptop again. Alright, you want to go slow because now less screws are holding the hinge area. Okay, let's try and lift this up now. Okay, it's kind of lifting up more now, so I think that should be it. Okay, I'm going to slide my fingernail here. Nope, that kind of didn't really do anything. I just got to wiggle it, maybe. But we got this whole half up. Oh, we have to be careful again because the power button is still connected there, like I said earlier. Okay, now let's try and go down this side again. Wiggle it, lift it. Wow, why is it stuck so strong? Oh, okay. So if you tilt it enough, I guess it just pops out. Hopefully I didn't break any clips. All right, so this has a little flip latch. I'm going to flip that, and then we're going to pull that, and there we go. We got the keyboard assembly out. Now I can actually clean this. It's a bit dusty, so we'll do that, and then we'll be back. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm back. Here you go. This is what the inside looks like now that's all cleaned up. Sorry, there's glare on it. I don't know if I can. There we go. Hopefully that's better. All right, anyways, the RAM is under here. I'm not going to take the motherboard out because the issue is the hard drive. So yeah, all right, keyboard, touchpad, everything is on this one piece. It looks like the touchpad is removable. There's two screws there. You got the cable there. Keyboard is held in with melted plastic, so if you're going to replace the keyboard, you'll replace this whole thing. And then you got the power button here held in with 2 screws. So yeah, 2 screws, then this side lifts up. It's this part has a little clip that holds it in place. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and set that aside for now. So yeah, use a 2.5-inch SATA spinning hard drive. To get to this, we're gonna flip this latch, okay? And then we can remove this cable to get it out of the way. And now we can go ahead and lift this thing up. If you want to take the whole thing out, you can flip this latch and then we can remove the hard drive cable as well. Then we can go ahead and get underneath the hard drive here, lift this up, okay, slowly, carefully. The rubber made it's kind of stuck a little bit, so you want to kind of go slow and careful. You don't want to fling the hard drive into the air. And then it tucks into these little pockets here. Sorry, I can't really zoom in too well because the screws and stuff in the way. I'm gonna end up knocking the screws over, so hopefully this will be enough. Now we can go ahead and pull this out, and this is the hard drive caddy. Okay, so let me show a little bit more. The battery connector, you can see, is removable, has a connector there. There's these wireless, only one wireless antenna apparently going to this here, going up into the screen. You got one speaker here with a wire going to this speaker here, and it connects to the motherboard there. LCD LVDS connectors here. If you're gonna mess with this, you might want to reconnect the power button for the computer. After disconnecting the battery, press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds, then you're okay to mess with that. There's this little cable here, which is probably for the webcam and the microphones. Got the DC jack charge port connector here with a cable, but it looks like it's going underneath the motherboard. Again, I'm not taking it out, so I'm not going to be able to see. This cable here, as you can see, is for the two USB, or the USB port and the headphone jack, as well as the activity lights. And then you also have the optical disk drive connector here, which we're not messing with. The wireless card, I think if you want to remove it, you might have to take the whole motherboard out, or at least take some of these screws out so you can lift this slightly to pull it out. Okay, and I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and install the SSD now. Okay, so to get the SSD in, we have this. We're going to disconnect this first. Usually I don't like just yanking this off. I'll pull it slightly, and then it'll form a gap here at the bottom. I'll get my fingernail or a pry tool in that little gap there. Okay, so in there, and I'll use that gap to help pry this connector off. If you're wondering why I don't just yank it off, okay, the reason why I don't just yank it off is if you see, if you see that clip here and here, sometimes if you just pull it, these parts will separate or you'll break that clip. And yeah, I don't want to risk that. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the replacement SSD. We're putting a 1 terabyte Crucial BX500. So we'll take that out. Okay. Price-wise and what do you call longevity? I haven't had any of these fail yet, so I really like these drives. I haven't seen anyone that had issues with it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and reconnect this just like that onto the SSD. These pieces, they just pop off like that, and then you just pop it onto the new one. The SSD is a little bit thinner than the hard drive, so it doesn't really matter because once you put this back into the slot, it'll just pinch these things together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this back in. So we slide that so these go back into those little pockets there. And all my customers are calling me right now. Then lower this down. So that should be good and solid in place. All right, now we got to put this connector back in. Just like this, line it up. Get that in. Uh-oh, they're calling me. So get this in all the way. And then latch that down. Then we got this connector. We'll get this. Get that in, and then we'll latch that down. All right, so there's the old hard drive. I'm gonna have to now put the keyboard assembly back on. I think the customer, let me go outside to see if they're still out there. I heard a car drive away. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and put this thing back together. All right, so we got 3 different cables that we need to make sure we reattach: the power button, keyboard, and the touchpad. Okay, so first things first, the power button. I'm kind of wondering how I'm going to be able to even show this to you guys, because I mean, if you've seen my other videos, you get the idea. It's a slot with the latch. You want to make sure the latch is up, and then you just get the cable in there and latch it down. I don't think I can get a good focus on this. Let me try here. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna let me. The numbers are all in the way for the focus. Yeah, it's not letting me focus on that. So, sorry, you're just gonna have to kind of understand what's going on. Again, if you want to see a video of these kind of connectors, let me see. Actually, maybe that will work. Okay, kind of, sort of. Okay, so we'll try and get this in here, just like that. Okay, line it up, and then once you get that in, latch it down. The cable's on top of the view, I know, but just latch it down. Okay, we're gonna let this go. Lift it up. Let me zoom back out here. Okay, then we have to kind of tilt this backwards. These things kind of catch, oops, sorry. The little clips or whatever kind of catch in there, so you have to actually lift this up and then tilt it, okay? So let's see, how can I show this? I don't know. I'm gonna end up knocking all the screws over trying to show you guys what's going on. So I don't know if I'll be able to. This one, okay, this latch here. Get this lined up and latch that down. Hopefully you were able to see. All right. And then we got the keyboard one over here. Same thing, make sure that latches up. Get that cable in. Okay. There's a piece of tape that's holding this latch down a little bit. So you might have to hold it with one hand while you get the cable in. This one's a little tricky. It's harder because I'm trying to record this to show you guys, so I'm at like a weird angle trying to look at this. So I might have to just do it and then show you what it looks like. I mean, you get the idea, right? Yeah, I might have to just do it and then... All right, let me plug this and I'll be back. All right, so the connector is in now, as you can see. Then flip that latch down and you should see the little white line even with that. All right, so that should be good. Now we're gonna pop everything back in. So click this in first. Hold from behind. I don't know if you can see, but my hand is behind here and I'm pushing like this to make sure. Okay, click that all in. Then we'll work our way down the sides. I'm pinching both layers like this, okay? So pinching both sides like that, all the way around. Okay. Just like, oops, sorry. Just like that. Pinch it all together. All right. Now that everything is clicked in, everything looks good. We'll close this up, flip this over, and we're gonna have to reinstall Windows on this thing. Let's go ahead and get all the screws back in first. Or we can do at least, not all of them, just enough to kind of hold it together better. Okay, so that one and the one down there. Okay, and this one. Okay, and then this one. Alright, let's go ahead and get the optical disc drive screws in. We do need to switch back over to the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. That one and this one. Alright, and then we'll just put the optical disc drive back in like this, line it up, slide it in, and we can go ahead and put, we don't need to, but alright, just for testing, we're going to go ahead and put the battery back in. We're going to leave the rest of the stuff out for now, lock this into place. Okay, we'll flip this over, power it up, and we'll try and boot to Windows, or not to Windows, but boot to my USB. So let me grab my Windows USB here. The customer said they want to stick with Windows 10, so we're going to make sure to put the Windows 10 on there. Okay. All right, so we'll plug in the bootable USB here. All right, powered up, and to boot to the oh, it already went. But to boot to an external one, it's actually F9. F10 is to the BIOS, but it booted so fast it automatically booted to my Windows USB installer. Let me see if I turn it off. Okay, let's try it again. So usually you'll press F9, and then it says change boot order, and here you can see now I can choose. So if for some reason it doesn't boot to it automatically, you might have to do that. I'm going to boot the 64-bit version. And if you want, what do you call it, to get into the BIOS, to enable, disable secure boot or other things like that, you press F10. That will let you get to the BIOS. Okay, so here you can see it's loading the Windows installer, so we should be good. I'm going to go ahead and start the installation, and then while it's doing that, I'll go ahead and put all the screws back in. But anyways, that's pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Right? If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. I also have another channel called It's Been Reviewed and More. Same profile picture but zoomed in. Basically all my review videos. If you could subscribe to that channel, that would help me out a lot. I need to get that one to 1,000 subscribers, and that would actually help me a lot more than commenting and all the other stuff on this channel. So yeah, anyways, there you go. It's starting up. Accept the license. Next, I'm gonna go to custom. I see the 1 terabyte SSD in there, so we'll continue, and it should be going. All right, so while that's doing that, we're gonna go ahead and get all the screws back in. All right, I mean, you get the idea. You're welcome to stay and watch the entire video if you want. I don't know. I get paid the more ads you see. If you don't see any ads, then... Oh, actually, I can't even put some of these screws in. We'll start with the bottom ones here. Okay, the other ones we'll have to wait till we can take the battery back out. Or I can just plug it in and then I can take the battery out. So we'll start with the bottom screws here. Okay. All these screws in, and then we should be good to go. Yeah, originally his computer was just stuck like with the spinning circle forever, and I could hear the hard drive making sounds like a repetitive. Usually if you hear a repetitive kind of clicking sound, that means your hard drive is toast. Okay, so now switching to an SSD, it should be a lot faster, and he shouldn't have any more issues like that. Okay, unless he somehow destroys the SSD, but usually to kill an SSD you would need to do a lot of read-write cycles, basically using your computer like a server. Then maybe you can kill the SSD, but yeah. Alright, we'll get this screw in. Let's get the little screw cover back on. I don't know if it's going to stick anymore. It doesn't feel sticky at all, so I don't know. This is probably just going to fall off. But I'll try to stick it there. Okay. Get this screw in. Alright, and this screw in. Alright, and the rest are underneath the battery, and yeah, it required me to take the battery out. So let's flip this over, check on the installation progress. 27%. Alright, let me plug it in and then I'll just take the battery out and finish the screws, and then that's pretty much all there is to it. If you need the drivers, usually Windows Update will find most of them, but if it doesn't, then you're going to have to go to HP's website, search for this laptop model or your laptop model, and then basically get each driver manually. So anyways, let's go ahead and plug this guy in. Okay. It's still going. We'll flip this over. Okay, let's get the battery back out. We'll get this back on. Remember, there are little clips, so you want to clip this stuff in. Okay, make sure that's all clipped in. Good, perfect. Now I've got to get the screws in. The silver ones go underneath the little rubber feet there. That one and this one. Okay, we'll put the rubber foot back. Just like that. Just like that. All right, and we'll get the last few screws in and we're good to go. Again, hopefully it helped you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. You're welcome to stay again until I get all the screws back in. And we'll flip it over one more time and see what percentage the Windows installation's at, but that's pretty much it. Let's get this last one here. Okay. And lock that and lock that, and that's pretty much it. Flip this back over. Okay, powered up. And 93% ready, files ready for installation, so almost there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this helped you guys out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.